Okay, so I realized maybe I should document how I achieved this level of getting stuff clean because let's be honest, it nobody actually does anything in Blender until they have to, and then it's like, what does topology mean? What does everything mean? I'll show you what I did because nobody would have the exact same thing from start to finish. There are some people who will kind of help a little bit, but I have a great use case since I lost my Blender file that was cleaned up. So I'm going to show you how we go from this to this. Let's get started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to line up the models that you want to get out. So these models were made before I got hacked, some of them, and some of them were obviously meshes inside the store. And as you can see, it wasn't perfect, not everything was lined up well, but I had these invisible spheres, or there was some invisible body parts going on. I think because I started everything based off of the dandelion, so all of them have an invisible base part, which I used as the origin, or like I used as the primary part, so I was able to anchor it down. And it turns out that setting a Roblox model's primary part is not the same thing as having changed its origin, and that's why there was a lot of problems. That's why, for example, it doesn't matter where I put the invisible cylinder, it would still, when I'm holding the tool, it would still just decide where it wants to hit, the contact point or whatever. But anyways, so you're gonna take this and you're not going to export it. You're going to copy it, open an empty file, delete the base plate, and paste it. And then here you're gonna have a folder. Folders don't have any properties. So what you're gonna do is you're going to group as a model, and then a model has a position and orientation. And then you're gonna take that, you're going to ungroup, and then right click, export. You're going to export as GLTF, and then the few meshes that would not export because I don't know, they're from the toolbox or something, you're going to take away separately as objects. So I'm going to pause again because I'm going to have to start another Blender file because the one I was working on yesterday didn't save, but that's another story. Okay, so all I did was I got in and imported the file, and then you're gonna see this. So everything that I'm doing right now, it would be best if you just actually follow a different tutorial with the one with the keyboard tools that lets you like decide what you're gonna click. So as you can see, this is what it looks like, and as I've said, some meshes didn't copy, right? Because it's like it will always give you a warning like, yeah, that didn't happen, I don't want this. Okay, so let's just pick something like this for now. I'll just show you how to do it for one thing. So let's just Z copy, and then I could just delete everything else for now, like it's not that important right now. This is just to show you what I mean. So now we have this, it deleted the collection of which it is in. So every folder is a collection, and it hates names, right? Like as you can see, this name, that name, and so on. So if I were to show you why I have it like 0, 1, 2, those are the growth stages. So each growth stage looks like this, right? And because there was like multiple other growth stages, so that was the problem. So the first step you are going to do is, you don't have to start with naming them. The first step you're going to do is you're going to pick each model, shift click, doesn't work all the time, and then your mouse needs to be here in this viewport thingy, ctrl J, and now you have this. And then you go here, Alt P, clear parent, and keep transformation. Now this causes that to happen, And then this is parented inside of this. This was something, I don't know how this happened, but it happened when I was, maybe there was something going on, like, because they're copies of each other, I don't know. Obviously I did the original pieces. So this was a cube that I made in Unity Pro Builder. This was a cube, this was a tube. Actually, they're just copies of each other, just scaled a bit differently. And then I made the full stem in Unity, and then I came here and I put the 3 parts together. So that's why there's a lot of parts in here, because I actually did use Godot. So, sorry, Unity, and then I actually used Roblox later. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick the stuff you want, right? I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of errors. That's another something you don't want. You can go ahead and delete. And then what are we looking at? So right now we have an empty collection. Keep it for now. We don't need that right now, but whatever. So let's just name this properly. So this would be Roasty Adult or something. I don't know. I'll figure out the naming system later. And you come here, because you can't, copy the name even if it's a different hierarchy. And that's why there's so many names. So right now, as you can see, the models are inside another collection, and that's because of how you made, how I made it, obviously, right? Like how it would look like in Roblox. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna select, and I don't know if you could select it in like together, but let's try it out. And then you're gonna Alt P, and it's gonna remove it from the entire collection. This is extremely messy, I know. So the collections that are inside already nested, you don't need those. These are just like the original weird structure you had with your models, right? So, and then you can join them in groups as well. So like if I do this, the ones that were already in collections, they're now they've just left that tree. So right now they're sitting here. So what I could do is I could just do this. No, wait, wrong. Control J. And then I can select it. Right, I have to get it out of the parent anyway, so Alt P. And then I can select the other stuff too, right? And Control J. Like you could do it in steps. You don't have to be perfect. Whoa. So as you can see, every single time you join, there's more steps. So I'm going to do that and come back with the next step because this is a bit repetitive. Okay, so I'm not done. I just wanted to show you what happens. I have no idea why this happened. But right now, remember I joined this first and then I joined that first, and now I'm working through there. And when I see here, I see there's leaf stem, and it's just got a bunch of random transformations. And it's 3 times probably because I joined, I don't know, I have no idea. So when you delete these, right, you'll notice you still see a jarbled mess. It's probably like, use the fact that when you combine them, Blender chooses a random name. So I'm gonna Control J and see that happen here again. So now it's like a game of what is real and what isn't real, right? Or what I could do is, since I know that this is where the problem's gonna be, you could just like move the entire thing a little bit, and then you'll know where it is. That's not really important. It doesn't matter where the position is. If you're doing this one by one, I mean, obviously, I would like to do this in bulk. I'm just doing this for show, since the other one took me so much time. So if I look here, like what would happen right now if I do Control J, active object is not selected mesh. And that's because I have the collection selected. So you're gonna have to go ahead and deselect that and then Control J. And as you can see, for some reason, it didn't corrupt everything else. So I'm gonna take this as you can see, this was a bit of an experimental thing. Like it's just like, oh yeah, so it's a more simpler stem structure, now it's a bit more complex, and then it gets more complex. But there was some leaves hiding here, but they're also a mesh that I don't have ownership of, according to, you know. So at this point, I'm just gonna go back and just remove the collections for now, since we're already now down to the most important steps. So I am now going to, can I zoom in the OBS thing? No, I hate this. I have to learn how to use OBS if I want to do a Devlog properly. So now, as you can see, it turns out that I never really made them level, right? Because in Roblox, let's see if I could just show it to you like this, right? Can I do that? Oh, I can. So in Roblox, since it doesn't matter for me because you have the primary part, right? Like every model has a primary part, or yeah, base. And then it was base for all of them. It was the exact same base. As you can see, like even this one has a hidden dandelion base inside. So that was kind of my, because I started with these two experimental ones and then I went on from there. So right now I'm still in that experimental phase, but that was the reason why. So Roblox allows you to make mistakes, and then you get now into Blender where you have to do things right and you just can't. So I'm going to split this into multiple parts because of the video size. So thanks for watching, and I'll continue this in the next part, but there's also another part because the Blender is the most time consuming thing, and I probably should have started by saying that. I just wanted to show that Godot was the one that, you know, it had some things that are possible, but I'll explain the other stuff in the next part. However, for now, I'm going to walk through every step in Blender for that one thing that doesn't have any special meshes, and then we'll see from there. So thanks for watching.